I.S.U.P.K.
Remember, Commanding General Yohanna's radio show, Monday night, 12 till 2. Also, remember to check out the online classes as well in the States, 12 till 2, Monday through Friday. Also, here we have classes in the UK. Monday we have the history class. Wednesday we have the law class. Thursday we have the scripture breakdown class. And today we're gonna go into a few topics. Today we're gonna go into how they're teaching children about LGBT in primary school. From a young age, they said that it's okay. Also, what else did they say? They said, yeah, we're gonna pull the article. Also, today we're gonna go into a little bit about Remembrance Day and the black man's position in it and so forth and whatnot. But if I could just go on the internet and just type in this, and the article should come up. It says primary school kids should be taught about LGBT. So now they want to teach primary school kids about LGBT. Teaching kids it's okay to be a homosexual, basically. Teaching kids it's okay to be disgusting. So what they're going to know, a kid's brain is like a sponge. They're trying to get it in them from early. Now, it's one thing now. This is the problem. There's one stage where if a man was a homosexual, he had to keep it to himself. But now, the white man's allowed them to come out the closet. And then now they came out the closet, and they're trying to drag everyone down with them now. They're trying to make everybody be like them now. The bullying people. You see how the bullies, man, the bullying people into their lifestyle. So if you disagree with it, they call you homophobic. You can lose your job. All of those kind of things. Nowadays, you can't even say that. You can barely say the word homosexual without police wanting to pay you a visit and say, "Oh, you made a homophobic slur." The bullying people, man, the bullying everyone to conform to their lifestyle, man. That's what they're trying to do. But go ahead and read the article.
Primary school pupils.
It says primary school pupils. Now, what kids are supposed to learn in primary school is maths and English, not about homosexuals, not about a man with a man. Why do they need to learn that in school? The whole point of going to school is so you can finish school, go to college, go to university. I mean, why do they need to learn about being gay? All they need to learn is their ABCs and their times tables and their plus and subtractions. That's all you need to learn in school, man. You don't need to learn about LGBT in school. Why are they bringing that there? Go ahead.
Taught what it means. So primary school pupils should be taught what it means to be LGBT. Royal College of Pediatricians says primary school children should be taught what it means to be lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender.
And they're teaching them that, trying to make them that. Go ahead.
Doctors say the Royal College of
even in these these so-called Christian schools, like Catholic schools, like St. John Wall and all them schools, they want to teach it in them places, man. I thought these schools followed what God follows, man. There's clear evidence that they don't follow what God follows. LGBT. Why are you even teaching that mess? Go ahead.
The Royal College of the Pediatricians and Child Health is urging ministers to go further in their guidance on sex and relationship classes, which will become compulsory from 2020.
Hold on, which or what?
Become compulsory from 2020.
So it's going to become compulsory, man, that this is what they're going to be teaching from 2020. And we're almost in what? 2019. 1 year's time, man, they're going to be having your kid coloring rainbow colors and talking about it's okay for two men to be together. It's okay for two women to be together. And this is why you have to teach your children this truth, man. Because if you don't teach your children this truth, one day your son's going to come home saying, oh, he wants to go to school in a dress tomorrow and all of that nonsense, man. Because they're teaching your kids wickedness. It's only right we teach our kids righteousness, man. Go ahead.
Draft government recommendation says schools are free to determine how they address lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender issues.
And it says schools are free to determine, man, how they address it. Go ahead.
But senior doctors are calling on the government to be more upfront, saying that primary school children should be given clear information about different types of sexualities.
About what?
Sexualities.
And primary school children are what age are you when you first go to primary school? No, I think it's a little younger than that. I think it's about 4, I'd say. Yeah, so you start primary school at 4 and you leave at about 10. Yeah, so you start primary school at about 4 and you leave at about 10. So you mean to tell me this is what you're going to be this is what they're going to be teaching kids, man? Go ahead.
Pediatricians also said children should be taught the proper name for body parts and about emotional changes during puberty. Dr. Max Davey, the college officer for health promotion, said we need to talk to children like they are intelligent beings.
So they're saying they need to talk to children like they're intelligent beings. So what they're going to try and do is push this agenda, man. Try and make more people gay. That's what they're trying to do. So it's only right you teach your kids not to be that way, man. Go ahead.
They are curious. My children know if you are gay or lesbian. It's not that big a stretch to be talking to children about bisexuality.
Go ahead.
Frank discussions about such matters would prevent sniggering at the back, he said.
Would prevent what?
Prevent sniggering at the back, he says.
Listen, man. There's nothing. Listen, kids know it's wrong for a man to be with a man. So now they're trying to say, oh, they need to teach them about it to stop them sniggering. Basically, what they're trying to do is make it become like it's normal. You see how it's normal for a man and a woman to be together? They're trying to make it the norm that a man's with a man and no one looks at it and no one looks down on it and no one sniggers in the back about it. Because kids know about these things, man. Because when I was in primary school, we used to know if someone was gay, man. We used to be like, this guy's a homosexual, man. We used to know these things, man. We used to know these things. So these kids know it now, and they're trying to make it out like it's normal. Because this is 2018, and the white man runs the whole earth, and he pushes his agenda. So he pushes men with men, women with women. He pushes gay marriage more than normal marriage, man. That's what they push. Go ahead. This is about giving things their proper names and so this about giving things their proper names, man. The proper name is you're a nasty homosexual if you're a man with a man. It doesn't get no more realer than that, man. That's the real name, man. You're a nasty homosexual if you're a man with a man. That's all it is. Go ahead. They're trying to pretty it up, give it all these names and whatnot. That's the original name for it, man. Stop trying to change the name. That's the original name. Go ahead.
Carl, there is nothing mysterious or shameful about it.
There is what?
Nothing mysterious or shameful about it.
And now they're trying to teach that there's nothing mysterious or shameful about homosexuality. They're saying there's nothing shameful about it. If you are one, you're meant to be ashamed of it, man.
God.
You're meant to be ashamed, man. But guess what? Nowadays, they just allow them to parade around now. Men walking like women, trying to anyway. Have you seen how and you clearly know. Listen, women don't even exaggerate how these gay men do. These gay men come with the longest nails ever, man. With the longest nails ever, prancing around, clicking their fingers. Listen, man, it's wrong for a man to be a homosexual. Go ahead.
No one can. It is about promoting LGBT as superior to anything else.
As what?
Superior to anything else.
And this thing is being promoted, man, more than anything else. This thing's being promoted more than a man and woman being together. Now they're promoting men with men. So what are you going to see? Kids in primary school deciding they want to be gay now. Boys in primary school with skirts on. And if you've got a child, that means the chances are there's going to be a child in your son's class with a skirt on, man. A child in your son's class with nails painted, thinking he's a girl, confusing all the other kids, man. Confusing all the other kids is disgusting, man. And this is a plague in the community, man. Teaching that it's okay and they're pushing it more than a normal relationship. It's disgusting, man. Go ahead.
A public consultation on government guidance on relationships, sex and health education.
And it says what?
Sex and health education.
Hold on, let me give you some education on sex, man. If you're a man with a man, you're gonna get AIDS, man. That's some education on it, man. That's some education on it. Go ahead.
Closed last week. It follows legislation, which means relationship education will become compulsory in primary schools.
And it's compulsory in primary schools when these kids should be learning maths and English. Go ahead.
What's wicked is in secondary school, we don't learn about man and woman. So what the hell are we doing learning about man and man? In primary school, we don't learn about that. In primary school, we learn about sex education. In secondary school, so in secondary school, we don't learn about man and man. Primary school, we don't even learn about biology, like the genitalia of a woman, which is normal. So what the hell are we doing learning about transgender?
Exactly, man. In primary school, they're teaching you about a man with a man and an alternative lifestyle, whereas they're not teaching you how relationships should be, man. A man with a woman. They don't want to teach that, but this they want to push because they know that a child's brain is like a sponge, man. So they're trying to put it in their brain from early, so when they grow up, they can, what do they call it? Batting for the other team. Is that they call it? So they can bat for the other team, man. Go ahead.
A public consultation on government guidance on relationships, sex, and health. Also, I can do it already. The college said the government's current plans do not go far enough. Dr. Davies said, we have got a strong commitment against discrimination on LGBT.
And now they're saying they've got a strong commitment on discrimination, man. Listen, us now, as black people, Israelites, people discriminate against us for our color, man. They've been doing it for years, and guess what? They ain't took no measures against that. Nothing happens against that. People's racist to us every single day of our life. And we ain't had no funding. They ain't taught in schools. They don't teach these white kids don't be racist towards black people. Why don't they teach that in primary school, man? Why don't they teach that in primary school? This is what they tell you. They tell you no one's born racist, but they tell you someone's born gay. That don't make no sense, man. Listen, there's no such thing as being born gay. You decide to go against nature, man. That's all it is. Go ahead.
All right. The senior doctor suggests such discussions were best when children are in the final 2 years of primary school.
So that's year 5 and year 6, which means you're about 9. So they're going to start teaching you this from the age of 9, man, right before you go to secondary school. Go ahead.
Age between 9 and 11.
Yeah, 9 and 11. Go ahead.
However, he urges teachers to take care in explaining transgender issues amid an increasingly heated debate about government consultation and allowing people to self-identify as their chosen gender.
As their what?
Chosen gender.
And they say to self-identify as your chosen gender. Listen, man, what the Most High makes you, that's what you are. If you're born a man, you're never going to be a woman, man. And if you're born a woman, you're never going to be a man. It's that simple, man. Stop trying to be gay and complicate things, man. Just be what God made you to be, man. Listen, God made you a man. You're a man, end of. God made you a woman. You're a woman, end of. Whether you want to identify as anything else, we don't see you as anything else. We see you as what God made you, man. We see you as a reprobate, man. If you're a man trying to be a woman, go ahead.
Which is crazy because if a man states he's a woman, they want you to say, well, he's a woman. He feels like a woman. Bro, he's a woman. That's like me saying, yo, I feel like a doctor today, you know. I should be able to do surgery on a man. And they'll say, huh? I don't care what you feel like. You ain't got the qualifications. You ain't doing that. So how can these like say, I feel like a woman, so therefore I'm a woman. Therefore I can go in the bathroom, a woman's bathroom because I feel like a woman. I can go to the woman's change room because I feel like a woman.
Exactly.
But if I feel like a doctor, they don't give me a doctor's wage.
Exactly. What I'm saying, man. Whatever you feel like, it doesn't matter, man, because you ain't that, man. If you're a man feeling like a woman, obviously you're not a woman, man. You're still a man. That's like me saying, I feel like a bird. I got no wings. People are gonna look at me like I'm stupid, man. A man saying he feels like a woman, it's an illness, man, and he don't even know it. He's got a demon on him, and he don't even know it. That's what it is, man. It's mental. There should be section, man. A man feeling like a woman, it should be section. Because if a man said he feels like a chicken and he starts clucking like a chicken, you're gonna get him section. You're gonna say this man's mental, man. He's off his head. While a man feeling like a woman, he's off his head too, man. Go ahead.
Primary school pupils, okay, it is tricky. It's a tricky debate. So I think it is best to stick to talking about culture and love and respect, he said. Primary school pupils.
Oh, what did I say? Talking about what?
Love and respect.
Talking about culture, love, and respect. When have they ever taught culture, love, and respect in school, man? In school, you don't learn it. They don't teach us our culture in school. You know what did they teach us? They teach us that we were slaves. They teach us the Black Death came about because of black people. When that's a lie, man. That's what they taught me in history class. The Black Death only affected black people because we're black, so it's called the Black Death. That's what they taught in school. Go ahead.
Primary school pupils should be given the information about healthy behaviors during pregnancy and parenting, said including familiarity with breastfeeding. It is about how to grow up in an environment where breastfeeding is normalized. Being matter of fact about it, Dr. Davis said. In its call for evidence, the Department for Education said opinions were split as to whether they're appropriate to teach any subjects related to sex education at primary school and about when children should be taught about LGBT relationships. The DFP spokesperson said, we want all children to grow up to become happy, healthy, and safe, which is why we are making relationships educational, compulsory.
And now they're saying they want, basically what they're saying is, if you're gay, they want you to be happy. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying, basically. Saying if you like another man, they want you to be free to do whatever you want and identify as what you want and be happy about it. So because you want to be that, why are they passing that off to all the other kids, man? What about all the other kids who don't want to know about that, who want nothing to do with you? And if you want to be that, man, stay at home and be that at home, man. Don't bring yourself around normal people, because it's normal for a man to be with a woman. You're not normal if you want it any other way, man. So you should be segregated. You should be quarantined and stay away from the rest of us, man. Go ahead. Any more on that? That's it. No, that's it. Give me Romans chapter 1 and verse 26.
Romans 1, verse 26. Ready?
Go ahead.
For this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affection.
And God gave them up unto vile affections, man, because they wanted to be vile, man. Go ahead.
For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
And they changed the natural use, man, to that which is against nature. Meaning men wanted to stop sleeping with women and wanted to go sleep with men, man. Women wanted to stop sleeping with men and wanted to go sleep with women, man. They decided to go down this LGBT route, man. Go ahead.
And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman.
Hold on, they did what?
leaving the natural use of the woman.
And this is what they're teaching in schools now. They're trying to teach these kids to leave the natural use of a woman, man. That's what they're trying to teach. Saying, oh, you can identify as what you want and love whoever you want. Go ahead.
Burn in their lust one toward another.
And that's the problem, man. These homosexuals is burning in their lust for other men, man. They want other men when it's against God, man. They want you're gonna have some kids in your son's classroom that might want your son, man. And then when your son knocks his teeth out for even coming by him, guess who's gonna get arrested for it, man? Guess who's what are they gonna say? He's homophobic. Guess who's gonna get arrested for being homophobic, man? One time I seen a video. You remember the one with Big Nasty?
Oh, yeah.
Can you? Is there any way you could find it on there? Screen share it. If you can find it. Now there's a brother out here in the UK. He must have been at some show, and some gay man tried dance or gay by him and hug him, man, and he pushed him. And then you should have seen the comments. They said, "Oh, they should delete his Instagram. He shouldn't be on the air no more." I mean, he had the nasty shows on Channel 4. Yeah, straight after he got the show, they wanted to shut it down, man, because he didn't want some homosexual to hug him, man. He pushed him away, and now they're saying that he's the now they're saying that he's the homophobic. When you see the footage, it's sexual harassment, man. The man's sexually harassing him and coming to hug him, and he pushed him, and he's the bad guy, man. He's the bad guy because he pushed this homosexual away that was sexually harassing him, man. And now he's the bad guy. Is it on there? Yeah, we're gonna screen share it. We're gonna show you that this is sexual harassment, man. Go ahead. Yes, this one.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. The homosexual come to put his hands all over him. Play it again. I don't want to see. Play it again. This was a righteous move from the brother, man. Push him away, man. Don't let him get close. Yeah. Exactly, man. They pushed him away, man. And they tried to say that he's homophobic, how he shouldn't be on the air no more, how they need to shut down his show, and so forth. But go ahead, continue that.
Men with men, working that which is unseemly.
Hold on, what does it call it?
Men with men, working that which is unseemly.
It says men with men, working that which is unseemly, man. Men with men, man. Disgusting, go ahead.
Working that which is unseemly and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error.
And they're going to receive in themselves that recompense of their error, man. And that recompense is going to be AIDS. That recompense is going to be death, man. That lifestyle. Following that lifestyle, man. All it brings is death. Go ahead.
Which was meat. Verse 28.
And that recompense, man. That's the recompense they deserve for them wicked acts. Go ahead.
Verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them up to a reprobate mind.
The Lord gave them up to a reprobate mind, man. The Lord gave them up, man. These are disgusting. What they think they're doing is right, man. Go ahead.
To do those things.
To what?
To do those things.
And the Lord just gave them up to do those things, man. But guess what? Death's coming for anyone that does those things. Go ahead.
Which are not convenient.
Which are what?
Not convenient.
A man with a man is what?
Not convenient.
A woman with a woman is what?
Not convenient.
The Lord said it's not convenient, man. You ain't supposed to be doing that, man. LGBT is what?
Not convenient.
Teaching primary school kids to be gay is what?
Not convenient.
It's not convenient, man. Go ahead.
29. Being filled with all unrighteousness.
And this is the problem, man. They're being filled with all unrighteousness, man. And it's unrighteous to even want to do those things. It's unrighteous to even consider doing those things, man. Go ahead.
Fornication, wickedness, covetousness.
And this is the problem, man. Fornication, man. Unlawful sex. A man with a man is unlawful sex. LGBT is all unlawful sex. Go ahead.
full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of the Most High.
Haters of what?
The Most High.
Haters of what?
The Most High.
And you hate the Most High if you want this alternative lifestyle. You hate the Most High if you're one of those, you know, those people who, oh, I'm not gay, but I don't mind it. You know those people. You hate the Most High, man. Because guess what? The Lord hates it. So you meant to hate what the Lord hates. Go ahead.
Despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of
and these gay people, they're proud and the boasters, man. They boast about being gay, man. Gay parade, they close off some of the roads, man. You're trying to get from A to B, and you can't get to A to B, man, because these homosexuals are having a parade, man. Whereas there's one time, yeah, you'd have to hide that and stay in the closet with it, and then now they've let them out the closet, and they've all come out the closet at once, man. Blocking up roads now, having parades, trying to push their alternative lifestyle onto you now. Go ahead.
Disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of the Most High.
It says, who knowing the judgment of the Most High. Go ahead.
They that commit such things are worthy of death.
They that what?
Commit such things are worthy of death.
It says, they that commit such things are worthy of death, man. Meaning you meant to die for doing those things. Go ahead.
Not only do the same.
It says, not only do the same. Go ahead.
But have pleasure in them that do them.
It says that have pleasure in them that do them. So if you've got a gay best friend, you deserve it too, man. Have you noticed a lot of these women got a gay best friend and think it's cute? They think it's cute that they got a gay best friend. Listen, the Lord said what?
Not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them.
And guess what, man? It's your punishment too, man. If you have pleasure in them that do such things, give me Leviticus 20 and 13. Then after that, we're going to pull it next.
Leviticus 20 and 13. If a man also lie with mankind,
says, if a man also lie with mankind, meaning if a man has sex with a man, go ahead,
as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination.
Both of them have committed an abomination, a disgusting act, man. Go ahead.
They shall surely be put to death.
They shall what?
Surely be put to death.
It says, they shall surely be put to death, meaning you're both supposed to die for that, man. That's what's going to happen. That's going to be the end result of this LGBT, man. But with that, drop that. Just pull up. We're going to talk about Remembrance Day. We're going to talk about water. Pull up water, Tull. We're gonna talk about Remembrance Day for a bit. Go ahead.
Walter Daniel.
Now this is a brother, a black man. He joined the army. He fought in World War I. Go ahead.
Born 28th of April 1888 till 25th of March 1918, was an English professional footballer and British Army officer of Afro-Caribbean descent.
Of what?
Afro-Caribbean descent.
Now this brother here, when black men couldn't get no rank in the army, this brother here was so outstanding that he got made lieutenant. Now, during World War I, white soldiers couldn't take orders from black soldiers, and also he wasn't allowed to get promoted past officer. Was it? Yeah, it wasn't meant to be promoted past officer. This brother became a lieutenant. Go ahead.
This brother predates the
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Was an English professional footballer and British.
And he was a professional footballer. He used to play for Tottenham, right? Was it Tottenham? Yeah, he used to play for Tottenham. Go ahead.
A British Army officer of Afro-Caribbean descent. He played as inside forward and half back for Clapton, Tottenham Hotspurs, and Northampton Town, and was third person of mixed heritage to play in the top division.
And even then, his football days, those racists towards him, But he still decided to join the white man's army, man, and fight for the white man. I don't know why, but obviously a brother in the world, he just didn't know no better. Go ahead.
During the First World War, Toole served in Middlesex Regiment, including the full footballers battalions. He was commissioned as a second lieutenant on the 30th of March.
He was commissioned as what?
The second lieutenant.
Now, this brother made it to the ranks of lieutenant. Now, this brother here, his name is Walter Tull. He's from a Jamaican background. You're not really allowed to get rank if you're from that background. You're not even allowed to be on the front. See, a lot of people don't know this, that in World War I, black people wasn't really allowed on the front line. They like to make black people carry the ammunition and dig the trenches. Not a lot of people know that. See, now this brother here made it to lieutenant. Go ahead, the morning. Was that it, really? On
30th of May, 1917, and killed in action.
And what? So now, this brother here, before he got killed, well, he joined the white man's army, and then he had some time off for acute mania. Google acute mania. I think it's like PTSD. Now, this brother here had PTSD. Many other brothers that you read about that joined the army had PTSD. And when you think of Remembrance Day, only white people get remembered. What about these brothers that saw people get their heads blown off in front of them, man? You think they don't deserve it? This brother got his head blown off, man. You think he don't deserve some recognition? So now, he made it to ranks of lieutenant. There's a thing where what they give you called, is it called a military cross? It's called a military cross, which is like an award. See if you can pull up that for me, a military cross. Let me find out exactly what it is. Yeah, read it for me, what it is.
Military Cross in the UK and Commonwealth countries. A decoration awarded for distinguished active service
for what?
On the land.
For what?
Decoration awarded for distinguished active service on the land.
So you'll get this awarded. Now, did you know this black man was greater than most of the white men in the army? He didn't receive a military cross, man, for all that hard work. And this is what they say. They say that when he returned to battle, no, he had acute mania, which is like PTSD. Now, they said when he went to France, he got shot in the back of the head, right? Is that what he says?
What?
Yeah. Well, they say he got killed. And now, his body's never been recovered. To me, that sounds like foul play to me, man. Don't that sound like foul play to you? You mean to tell me they knew he got shot in the head, but they can't find his body? Meanwhile, this man fought and served for the white men, and he can't even get a proper burial, man. He can't even get a. You see the burials that they have where the drapes sit with the British flag. He can't even get a burial, man. And they're trying to say that they can't find his body. His body hasn't been recovered. What year did he die?
1918.
So from 1918, they still haven't found his body. Google Madeleine McCann. They're still searching for this girl that ain't contributed to society, man. Pull her up. Some girl that went missing where her parents left her unattended. I'm sure they put another 150 grand towards the search. I'm not even sure. Yeah, click on it. What does it say?
This article is a day old. Madeleine McCann investigation receives more funding.
See, and they're giving it more funding. So where's the funding to find my brother that served in their army, man? Why don't they fund to find our brother that served in the white army, that was a lieutenant, that got his head back blown off, man? And they don't want to search for him, but they want to search for this girl who don't contribute to society. Go ahead. How much money have they spent on the case already? Go ahead.
Police investigating the disappearance of Madeleine McCann have received a further 150,000.
And all this money to look for her. And why don't they want to look for my brother that was a lieutenant in their army, man? one of our brothers that died fighting their wars. Where's the funding for him? Why ain't nobody searching for him? What about giving his family some closure so they can bury their loved one? You don't want to look for him after he served in their military, which lets you know the white man's the devil. The Bible speaks of, man. Right. You're serving his military, you'll get your head back blown out, and he don't care. He don't care if you're dead or alive. He ain't gonna look for you. Go ahead. Did it tell you how much money the previously spent on the case?
Oh,
I think it's about 11 million.
In government funding?
In what?
Government funding.
In what?
Government funding.
So the white man's taking tax out of my money and everybody else's money to look for this white girl. Guess what? I want some of my tax to go towards looking for my brother's body, man.
God.
That's what I want, man. So he can have a burial, man. Now you see when they do Remembrance Day, they ain't remembering no black soldiers. They ain't remembering people like Eugene Clark. They ain't remembering what's the other black brother's name that was in the military? His name was Jeffrey something. They ain't remembering him. They're only remembering their own. Because if they was remembering him, they would be saying, you know what, we want to find Watertoe's body so he can have a proper burial. Go ahead. But instead they want to look for some little idiot called Madeleine McCann. Go ahead.
Madeleine was 3 when she was last seen.
Who cares, man? I don't give a damn, man. We want Watertoe's body so I can get a proper burial. I don't care if she was last seen when she was 3, man. This brother was last seen getting his head back blown out. We want his body so he can get a proper burial, man.
While on holiday with her parents.
While on what?
Holiday with her parents.
So while this man's in the military, suffered from acute mania, which is PTSD, got his brains blown out, they still can't find his body. But her, while she was on holiday, living life like white people do, soaking in the sun, soaking it all up in the sun, getting skin cancer because white people are meant to be that close to the sun. She's doing all of that off her own back, and they want to look for her, man. But they don't want to look for a man that was a lieutenant in their own army. I mean, this was black, if it was white. Do they gave the family some closure, man? Go ahead.
In Portugal, May 2007, the Metropolitan...
And they've been looking for her for what, 12 years then? They've been looking for her for 11 years, almost 12 years. Just close the case already, man. Just close the case. You're taking that out of our taxes to look for someone we don't want you to look for, man. We don't care where she is. What we do care about is black people on drugs, man. Black people struggling. Black people got nowhere to stay, man. Listen, why not take care of the living, man? Madeleine McCann's dead, man. Forget about her. Just give us that money, man. We don't want none of our money going towards her, man. If you're not gonna look for Watertoe, you should look for her. Treat everyone the same, man. We're all British, right? We're all one nation, right? Treat everyone the same. Go ahead.
A total of 11.75 million.
A total of what?
11.75 million.
Hold on, you mean to tell me you've been searching for this little white girl and you spent a total of 11.75 million, and you're talking about recession and there's no jobs and all these cuts. You need to cut that money off, man, and stop looking for her, man. 11.75 million. Do you know how much money that's money me and you will never see? Listen, we won't even see the 0.75 in our lifetime. We ain't even going to see the 0.75 in our lifetime, man. And you mean to tell me you're looking for Madeleine McCann? What about Watertoe's body, man? Go back to Watertoe if you could. Was there anyone on that?
Your Watertoe.
Anyone on that was really?
Just back down to this.
Yeah.
Toyle was born in Folkestone, Kent, the son of Barbadian carpenter Daniel Toyle.
And his father was a carpenter. This man joined the military, made it to ranks of lieutenant when black people wasn't allowed rank. They wasn't allowed to tell white people what to do. So in World War I, all black people could do was carry the ammunition and dig the trenches. And also digging the trenches now, they would dig these trenches, and many of the black people that dug them died from disease because you had the toilet sewage would run into the trench, and then they would get diseases like trench foot. You had a disease called trench foot. So a lot of black people died from diseases called trench foot. Where's the remembrance for these black people that died, man, from trench foot? Where's these diseases? Where's the remembrance for the black people that died from malaria as well? There's a disease called influenza. Google that, influenza. That's a disease as well. No, there's more in it. This one's a different kind of one. What?
Well, influenza. But
this one, it's pull it up and see what it says on there. It's flu-like symptoms, but a lot of them died from it as well. Either that one or it was typhus fever.
Yeah, influenza coming on.
Pull up typhus fever, TYPHUS. So a lot of them that built these trenches caught these sicknesses, and a lot of them died. Typhus fever, I think this is the one. What did it say for this one?
Typhus fever, a group of infectious diseases that include epidermic typhus, scrub typhus, marine typhus,
Is there any more on it?
headache and rash. Yeah.
There's more on it where it says you get it from. No, pull up. No, which one was it? Basically, there's one of them. So, because there was in the trenches, you get diseases from the feces. Because, like I said, the sewage was leaking into the trenches where they was. So, a lot of them basically had other people's feces all on them and caught diseases and died and so forth. Many of them caught malaria. And when you read it, it says 125,000 black people died, man. That's what it says, man. And then after the war, they said, we don't need you black people no more, go home. So a lot of people died from that. They died from trench foot, they died from lice, they died from malaria. All of these things was going on there. People just think of World War I where it's just guns and stuff. There's more to it than that. There's all these diseases that came with it. Pull up the poppy, the red poppy. See what that says. Pull up the poppy. What's the definition of it?
Remembrance poppy.
Yeah, remembrance poppy.
The remembrance poppy is an artificial flower that can be used since 1921 to commemorate military personnel who died in the war.
Who what?
Who died in the war.
So here it says who died in the war. When you see this red poppy, it's not talking about black people. They're talking about white people. Now pull up the black poppy rose. So everyone that you see, all these white people that you see have a red poppy. They're remembering their loved ones, man. They're remembering their nation. They don't give a damn about ours. Read it, black poppy rose.
Don't feel it.
Nah, just recently brought it out. You can even buy them on Amazon now. Just read. There should just be like a little footnote of what it says. About remembering black people.
To them. As the nation prepares to mark Remembrance Day, November 11.
As the nation, go ahead. To remember Remembrance Day, go ahead.
Selena Carter is paying special homage to the wartime efforts of black soldiers.
To the what?
Black soldiers.
So now, everybody knows there's a distinction, man, between white soldiers and black soldiers. This is why there's two different monuments. And when white people are more for white people because of World War I, they have a red rose. And now what black people are starting to do is have a black rose, a black poppy rose to remember black soldiers, because they know that Remembrance Day, no one's remembering the black soldiers. So that's why they have a black poppy rose. Go ahead.
And their families do her Black Poppy Rose campaign.
For a what?
Black Poppy Rose campaign.
So already black people know Remembrance Day. Basically, this is how it goes. There's two different Remembrance Days. You got the black poppy rose for black people remembering black people, and then you have the red poppy rose for white people remembering white people. Well, black people fought in the army for white people, and then Walter Tull, he didn't win the award. What was the award called again? Military Cross. Now, he didn't win the Military Cross. Now, in his absence, this is what they want to do. Now they were saying they want to award him a military cross. You know why they want to award him a military cross? Because they want more black people to join the army, man. They want you to feel like, oh, you're special, you can be involved, you can be a part of it. So now they want to give him, what did they call it? Humorously or whatever. That's what they call it. When someone receives something after their death. Now they want to give him, they didn't want to give him it when he was alive. Well, obviously they brought it out. They didn't want to give him like 100 years ago. But now they want to give him in his death, man. In his absence, which will make black people see this and want to join the military. Also, there's letters of black people talking about the racism they received in the army. Have you heard of the what did they call them? The black nuts, something. They called them black nuts or something. I can't remember what it was. What did they call them now? What was it? They called them what did they call them now? They called them black something nuts. And then also there was 2 other brothers in the army. Now, in order for one to get some rank, they asked him, what's your nationality? He lied and said he was white to get some rank, man. He lied and said he was white to get some rank. And they gave him. Now, there was another brother that asked him, what is he? He said, I'm the son of a slave from the Caribbean. And guess what happened to him, man? He didn't receive the rank because black people wasn't allowed to receive no rank in the army. So the white man would know that you're good at the job. So they would try and make you believe you're white, asking you trick questions. You know when they ask you, you know when they try and get you to give them the answer that they want, but it's not the right answer. So this man basically said, I'm a white man in order to receive some rank. The other brother said, no, I'm not. I'm the son of a slave. He didn't receive no rank. The army is racist, man. Give me that scripture, every beast love of its kind. In the apocrypha somewhere. Yeah, read it.
Ecclesiasticus 13:15. Every beast loveth his life.
Every what?
Every beast loveth his life.
It says every beast loveth his life, meaning lions love lions, zebras love zebras, white men. Go ahead.
And every man his neighbor.
Every what?
Every man his neighbor.
Every man his neighbor. And this is why Remembrance Day, they're not remembering you, man, because you're not their neighbor. You're not their like. They don't love you. They don't care about you, man. So this is why they ain't found Watertoe's body. So you mean to tell me from what, when was it, 1918 he died? So from 1918, they ain't found, listen, they found Bin Laden on the ground, man. When they wanted him, they found him on the ground. They found Saddam Hussein, man. And you mean to tell me you can't find Watertoe? You mean to tell me you can't find his body? Up until today, his body ain't been recovered. His body just ain't washed up on the surface somewhere. Listen, the white man's a hunter. He finds anything he wants. But you can't find his body. It don't make no sense, man. Go ahead.
Okay. All flesh consorteth according to kind.
All what?
All flesh consorteth according to kind.
It says all flesh consorteth according to kind, man. And this is why they do Remembrance Day for white people. This is why every army advert that you see is white people. This is why every recruitment advert, the only time they're going to put a black man on the recruitment advert is if they want to recruit black people in the army, man. But the army is not our place, man. World War I and World War II and World War III, we ain't supposed to be fighting in none of those, man. These nations is against us. You see, when you join their army, you end up like Watertoe, brains blown out on the field, suffering from PTSD, suffering from acute mania, suffering from lice and malaria and trench foot. Pull up trench foot for me. Let me see what the definition is on there.
It's in it.
Yeah. Pull up the picture. Pull up the picture. I ain't even looked at the picture. I don't want to see them. Screen share. I just don't want to look. Pull it up.
Trench foot is a painful condition on the feet caused on immersion of cold water or mud.
Caused by what?
Water or mud.
And this is where black people was in the army, man, just there. You got water and mud going in your boots, in your socks, and you're standing in it for the whole day. You're standing in sewage. You're standing in toilet sewage. Go ahead. That was it. Is there a picture of it? Pull up a picture. So trench foot, man. A lot of black people had trench foot. Listen, they say we're lazy, man. They say we're lazy. Meanwhile, out there, World War I with trench foot, man. Because we were standing up all day. That's the definition, standing up all day in mud and water. They say we're lazy, but we're the ones that had trench foot standing up all day, man. Carry on reading that scripture if you could.
All flesh consorteth according to kind.
Says, all flesh consorteth according to kind, man.
And a man will cleave to his like.
And a what?
And a man will cleave to his like.
And it says, and a man cleave to his like. And this is why white people love white people. This is why they have their wreath. This is why the Queen don't go to the to where the black. So, did the Queen go to put flowers down by the monument in Brixton? No, maybe I missed it. She didn't go. No. Oh, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. She didn't go because what? Every kind loveth what?
Every beast loveth his like.
Every beast loveth his like, man. The Queen only cares about them white people. You see, did you watch the news when there was all crying? Prince Harry and all them crying. They was all crying on the news, man. They weren't crying for your black ass, Salakia. They weren't crying for you. They was crying for their own people. They wasn't crying for war at all. They wasn't crying for nobody else that joined the white man's military that was black. They was only crying for their own people. And this is why there's no flowers on your wreath, on your memorial. There's no poppies on your memorial. There's nobody going and saluting your memorial. There's nobody thanking you for the service that you did. Because every beast loves his own kind. And we're not their kind, so they don't love us. But we don't want their love. Let them keep their love, man. We're supposed to love one another. But with that, Salakia, let me go into my topic. I ain't even started my topic yet. Give me Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6. Today we're going into discipline, how you're supposed to discipline your kids and whatnot, man, so they're not next up on the news and so forth, man, and how you're meant to raise them up in God. Give me Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6.
Proverbs 22 and 6. Train up a child in the way he should go.
Do what?
Train up a child in the way he should go.
The Bible says train up a child in the way he should go. What does that mean then? That means you teach a child these laws, statutes, and commandments. You teach this child to serve the Lord. Train them up in the way they should go. Because if you don't train them up, they're obviously going to go the wrong way. And this is why you look in these streets today. Plenty of our kids have gone the wrong way, man. Plenty of them have turned out to be drug dealers, murderers, murdering their own kind. Because they haven't been trained up the right way, man. Go ahead.
And when he is old, he will not depart from it.
And what?
And when he is old, he will not depart from it.
So you train them up from young, from they're a kid. And when they're old, they won't depart from these ways. Meaning you teach them from a kid, don't hate your brother. A black man is God's property, like your God's property. You're meant to love another black man. Your wife is supposed to be from your same kindred. These are the things that you train them, man, so they don't depart from it. Like my father, he went in the truth, but damn, all mine and all my brother's life has taught us, don't ever get with no white woman, man. Don't ever eat pork, man. That's what he taught us, man. And these things we don't depart from, man. So you need to train your kids up righteously in the ways of the Lord. Read that from the top.
Train up a child in the way he should go.
Train up a child in the way he should go, man. This is training your child in the right way is more important than taking them football every Sunday, trying to make them be a footballer, trying to make them be a basketballer. You train them up in the Lord, man, the way they should go. Train them up to be a righteous man. That way they will get to see their kids and their grandkids. That way, man, their life ain't going to be cut short. That way they ain't going to die before they're supposed to. That way they ain't going to murder another black man. They ain't going to sell no drugs to their own people. They ain't going to be doing nothing crazy. What they are going to be doing is doing online classes, man. That's what they're going to be doing, man. Serving the Lord. Train them up that way. Go ahead.
And when he's old.
And when he's older, when he grows in age, Go ahead.
He will not depart from
And
it.
when he grows in age, he won't depart from it. When he grows in age and has his own kids, he's going to teach his kids what you taught him, man. And then his kids is going to teach his kids what their father taught them, man. And this is how we're meant to be, man. We're meant to teach our kids in the way they should go. But in this lawless society, we don't teach our kids nothing. And the white man set up the white man set up a system where your kids go to school from what? 9 to 3. You finish work at 5. By the time they get home, there's only enough time for them to eat dinner and go to bed. But meanwhile, in school, what we pulled up the article earlier, they're teaching your kids about LGBT, how it's okay to be gay. So if you ain't got no time to teach your kids the opposite to all these things, the chances are your kid's going to go the wrong way, man. So the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's older, he will not depart from it. From there, pull me up Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4. Train your kids up, man. Let them watch these classes. I don't care if your child don't want to watch them because they're bored. Let them watch it, man. You think your child ain't bored at school, but they still have to do it, man. Let them watch these. Listen, whether they're bored or not, you're the parent, man. Let them watch it, man. These things can save their life. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one.
Teach them this first, man. And then when they grow up, they won't become a Muslim. Listen, I know a brother that was an atheist. He went to jail and now he's a Muslim. The full kufi and what did they call that dress to wear? I don't even know what to call it. Is that
Sheet?
Yeah, the full kufi. Teach them what? What's the first thing? Teach what?
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one.
Teach them that they're Israelite, man. Teach them that. Teach them who their God is, man. Teach them their God is the only God and everybody else worships idols. Teach them all these religions is garbage. Teach them Islam is foolishness. Islam is stone worship. Teach them that the same stone that these Arabs are worshipping in Mecca ain't no different to the stones outside your house, man. There's nothing different. A stone is a stone. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart.
And what?
And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart.
Teach them to love the Lord with all thy heart. Teach them that love is more than words, man. Teach them that love is actions. Teach them that if they love God, they're gonna obey God's every word. Teach them that if they love you, they're gonna obey every righteous word that you say, man, according to the Bible, man. Teach them that. Teach them what love really is. Now, this society, we taught that love is just you just say to someone you love them and it means anything. The Bible says, pull that for me. Hold that one there, but pull that for me in James 3:18 or First John 3:18. One of them. It's John 3:18. I'm not too sure. Love not in word.
3:18.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah. Sure, it's John or James. John 3:18. One of them. It's definitely not John because obviously we all know John 3:16, so we know it ain't. Probably try First John or James 3. First John 3:18.
First John.
Yeah, First John 3:18.
First John 3:18.
Yeah.
My children, let us not love in word.
Let us what?
Not love in word.
Let us what?
Not love in word.
It says let us not love in word, man. Us as a nation need to stop loving in word, man. I mean, there's some people that will tell you they love you all day, but when you're going through hard times, they ain't there to feed you. They ain't there to look after you. It says let us not love in word. Now, if you do love that person, go ahead, love not in word, but what?
Neither in tongue.
Neither in what?
Neither in tongue.
Neither in tongue, man. Neither saying this is my homie, I love him. Some people got them friends in jail and they ain't even got no canteen and they don't care. They don't top up their phone, don't do a thing. But they will be out here saying free him, I love them. You know, those kind of people saying free my homie, free this, I can't wait till you're home. Those people loving word and in tongue, man. The Lord's telling us don't love in word and in tongue. Go ahead.
But indeed and in truth.
But in what?
But indeed and in truth.
But indeed and in truth, man. Meaning with actions. In the UPK, we love one another with actions, man. A brother needs something, we help him out. We don't just say we love him and don't do nothing to help him. We ain't gonna see a brother sleeping rough and, you know, not bring him in or not find somewhere for him to stay. We love indeed, man. And this is why when you look at our actions, no one can't say nothing wrong about how we love, man. Because we love indeed. But go back to Deuteronomy 6:4, I believe it was.
Deuteronomy 6:4, and these words which verse 4, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might.
With all your soul, all your might, meaning with everything, man. Love the Most High, keep his commandments, keep every law, statutes, and commandment there is, man. Teach your kids that. Teach your kids righteousness. Because for a long time, we've been teaching our kids to be unrighteous, man. And this is why when you see it, who's shooting up the block? Our kids that ain't been taught, man. Who's selling drugs? Our kids that ain't been taught, man. Go ahead.
And with all thy soul, and with all thy might, and these words which I command this day shall be in thy heart, and thou shalt
meaning these words, man. Have them in your mind, man. And you know when you know you got these words in your mind? When you go to a food place, man, and you check the ingredients to see if there's anything unlawful in there, man. That's how you know, man. When you see another black man and you understand, he's my brother, man. When you understand that, man, when you understand, I'm not going to do him no harm, he's my brother. When you understand, I'm not going to do that sister no harm, she's my sister, man. That's how you know when you got it in your mind, man. When anything you do, the law comes to your head straight away. Like you see when you look at something and the law comes to your head straight away. Straight away, man. It's supposed to be in your mind, man, in your heart meaning your mind. Go ahead.
And thou shalt teach them diligently.
Thou shalt teach them diligently, man, meaning keep teaching your kids this continuously. Teach your kids, man. Let your kids sit down and hear these words. Go ahead.
To thy children, and thou shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thy house.
And when you're in your house, man, same thing. Basically, this is just saying, teach these laws to your kids, keep them all the time, teach them all the time continuously. That's basically what he's saying. But from there, take me to Sirach chapter 30 and verse 1.
Sirach 30:1. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod.
Causeth him what?
Oft to feel the rod.
So if you love your kids, you would discipline them, man. But guess what? None of these kids is being disciplined. You know what it says? If you love your kids, you would cause them to feel the rod. Because you don't want your kids to do nothing wrong. You don't want your kids to go to jail, man. If you don't want your kids to go to jail, you discipline them from young. Your child brings home something stolen, you discipline them for it so they know not to do it again, man. Before one day they steal from the wrong person, man, and there's consequences. Before one day the police come looking for them and there's consequences. You love your child, so you discipline them. You're not disciplining your child because you hate them. You're disciplining your child because you love them and you want them to be on the right path. Go ahead.
That he may have joy of him in the end.
That he what?
May have joy of him in the end.
And you discipline your kid so you can have joy of him in the end. That you've disciplined your child so much that they no longer do anything wrong no more, man. Because anytime they go to do something wrong, they remember that belt, man. They remember that belt buckle, man. Go ahead.
He that chasteneth his son shall have joy of him.
He that what?
Chasten his son shall have joy of him.
He that chasten his son shall have joy of him. Because you know why? You're going to discipline your son, and then he's going to know, you know what? My father beat me last time for that. I'm not going to do it again. But if you don't discipline them, there's nothing stopping them, man. You discipline your son. When he grows up, he's going to be like, you know what? I seen my dad beat my older brother for talking some nonsense like that. I seen my dad do this. I seen my dad do that. You discipline your son, they will learn from their mistakes, man. But when you do discipline your kids, make sure you let them know what you're disciplining them for. Because you know when there's some parents that just beat you and don't tell you. Sometimes I got beaten, I don't even know what I got beaten for. Yeah, exactly. I'm still wondering what did they beat for? I'm just thinking, what did they do wrong? So when you do discipline your kids, at least let them know what they've done wrong, man, so they don't make that mistake again. Go ahead.
And shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance.
And he's going to rejoice, man. He's going to be like, you see my son there? He's good, man. My son there. He's righteous, man. I raised him right. I disciplined him, and look now, man. All of that foolishness that he was doing before, he no longer does it because he's raised right, man, from this discipline. And if you're a Benjamite, damn, we get disciplined 24/7. Yo, them disciplines that I got. There was no games played with me. Go ahead.
He that teaches his son, grieveth the enemy.
He that what?
Teacheth his son, grieveth the enemy.
Because he that teacheth his son, grieveth the enemy. You know how you grieveth the enemy? It means the white man can't come and lock him up for drugs, man, because your son's not a drug dealer. You know who the enemy is? The white man, that wants to take your kids away. Now, you have black people, some black people talking about, oh, I don't beat my kids. There's no need to beat my kids. Guess what? You don't beat your kids. So they grow up, and guess what? The white man beats them in the street, man. The white man shoots them dead in the street, man. Whereas if you discipline them at home, the enemy couldn't touch them because they would be far away from him, man. Go ahead.
Grieveth the enemy. And before his friends, he shall rejoice of him.
And what?
Before his friends, he shall rejoice.
And before his friends, he shall rejoice, man. You know, Croft, you know that feeling when your father's with his friends and he's just proud to say, "This is my son."
God.
He's proud to say, "Oh, this is one of my sons, man." Now, which father in their right man wants to say this is their son who's got all his teeth missing on crack, man? He ain't gonna say that's his son. He's gonna be ashamed, man. And this is why, man, you discipline your kids and tell them, don't be smoking no weed, no crack, no drugs, don't be smoking nothing. So when they're with their friends, man, they can be proud saying, "Oh, this is my son right here, man. He's righteous, he's this, he's that. My son does this, my son does that." Make your father proud of you, man. If you want your son to do the right thing, you have to discipline them. Kids need to be disciplined, man. And this is the problem, man. Kids ain't being disciplined, so now they're out in the city centre causing havoc till 11, 12 o'clock at night now. They ain't got no curfew because you're giving them too much liberty. You think I could be outside at the age of about 12? You think I could be out at 12, 13? Nobody knows where I am and I'm coming home at 2, 3 in the morning. Nah, man, it wasn't like that in my household, man. If you went home by 8 o'clock, the door's going to be locked and you don't know where you're sleeping, man. Go ahead.
Though his father died.
Though his what?
Though his father died.
So when your father, after your father's chastised you and you grow up to be a man, and he says, though your father dies, go ahead.
Yet he is as he were not dead.
Yet what?
He is as though he were not dead.
And though your father's dead, you turning out to be a good son, a righteous son, it's like your father's still alive. You know why? Because when people see you, they're going to be like, you know what? This man's just like his father, man. His father was a good man, and his sons followed in his father's footsteps. Go ahead. Like your son is meant to be a reflection of you. If you're righteous, it's only right that your son be righteous too, man. You don't want to have a son that's a crackhead, or your son is the neighborhood armed robber where everyone knows his son's always doing them robberies. Go ahead.
For he have left one behind him that is like himself.
For he have what?
Left one behind him that is like himself.
And this is how it's supposed to be, man. When you die, your son is supposed to be like you, man. If you're righteous, your son's supposed to grow up and be righteous, man. So when you die, your son's supposed to, take over, reign in your stead, and be righteous just like you. Go ahead.
While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him.
While what?
While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him.
And as a father, you're meant to rejoice in your son, man. You're meant to be happy, like, this is my boy, man. I love him, man. He's righteous, man. All them chastising that I gave him, it was worth it, man. He's turned out good. You're meant to rejoice in him. You're not meant to, have your hands in your head like, oh, my son's on crime watch again. Police is raiding my house again. Oh, my son's done this again. You ain't supposed to feel like that, man. You ain't supposed to have a heavy heart, man. You know, when some people, you've heard it when some people say, their child gave them high blood pressure and whatnot. That's a true thing, man. Your child can give you high blood pressure. Go ahead.
People say something like, carrying like that, you don't put your father in the early grade.
Exactly, man. Your parents ain't supposed to feel like that about you, man. They're supposed to rejoice in you, man. Like, yo, my boy, he's righteous, man. They ain't supposed to be worrying about is he gonna turn up is he gonna end up dead? Is he going to end up in jail? They're supposed to rejoice in you while you're alive, man. Like my son, you see him there, righteous. Go ahead.
And when he died, he was not sorrowful.
And what?
And when he died, he was not sorrowful.
And one day we're gonna die, and we got sons who are meant to take over our position, man. We're supposed to die what?
Not sorrowful.
And we ain't supposed to die sorrowful, man. You're supposed to be on your deathbed and see your son and be like, yeah, he's gonna do everything right, man. So when I come back in the reincarnation, I'm gonna just be coming right back to all these possessions, man. Not knowing you're leaving your inheritance with someone who's gonna spend it all on crack, man. Who's gonna spend it all in the strip club? Who's gonna ruin your legacy, man? My grandfather, he had one son, and when he was alive, my mom's brother. This is what my granddad used to say to my mom: "Your brother's ruined my legacy." That's what he used to say, man. He used to say, "It's ruined my legacy, man." And my granddad died sorrowful, man, because his one son ruined his legacy. Go ahead.
And when he died, he was not sorrowful. He let that.
And my uncle ruined my grandfather's legacy, man.
What did he do?
What did he do? Damn, he's got a big British Union flag on his window and stuff. My granddad's Jamaican to the core, and his son is English to the max. He's English to the max. Union Jack on the window. English bed sheets. His bed sheets is an English flag. My granddad said to my mom, he ruined my legacy, man. I know how my granddad felt. Well, guess what? I've resurrected that legacy, man. I've resurrected it, man. Go ahead.
Verse 6, he left behind him an avenger against his enemies.
Go ahead.
And one that shall requite kindness to his friends.
One that what?
Shall requite kindness to his friends.
Go ahead.
He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds.
He that maketh too much of his son. And this is the problem, man. You know those people that make up too much. This is the problem you see with the Christian church. Listen, every woman I know that's a Christian, they're holier than thou, but their kids is the rudest in the neighborhood, man. Crawford, I'm a lying. I'm a lying to you. All the armed robbers, all the stick-up kids, all the drug dealers, they're Christians. Their mom's churchgoers with the big hat going church every Sunday. Their kids is getting kicked out of school. And what does the mom say? Oh, it wasn't my son. He's a good boy. They make too much of their kids, man. They make out like their kids is good and they don't chastise them. Whereas if they understood, my kid's naughty, man, I'm going to chastise him, it would make the neighborhood a better place, man. It would mean certain kids could walk with their chains out and not have to worry about getting robbed by their brother. Would mean no armed robberies would be going on, no shootings. Go ahead.
Khan, he maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds.
Go ahead.
And his bowels will be troubled at every cry.
And what?
His bowels will be troubled at every cry.
This is the problem, man. Those people that make too much of their kid, their bowels is troubled now, man, because their kids in and out of prison. A lot of brothers is getting murdered because of the lifestyle they chose to live. Meaning parents have to be burying kids when it should be the other way around, man. Because they made too much of their kids. They didn't raise them up in the way of the Lord. They didn't chastise them when they was younger. Now, if you ain't chastising them when they're younger, you ain't going to be able to chastise them once they get to the age of, 14, 15? They're too old now. They're near enough their own, man. Go ahead. You need to chastise them from the young. From when they're about 3 or 4, man. Go ahead.
A horse not broken becometh headstrong.
A what?
A horse not broken becometh headstrong.
A horse not broken becometh headstrong, man. Meaning this horse becomes wild and can't be tamed and doing anything it wants, man. And this is your kids. They become headstrong, meaning these kids do anything they want. These kids is running the streets now. These kids is selling drugs all throughout the neighborhood. They've become headstrong, man, because you didn't chastise them from when they was younger. You didn't discipline them from when there was a kid. You didn't put them in order from when you had power to do so. So now you've left it until they're old now. So now they've become headstrong. Now they're in and out of jail. In and out of jail is no life, man. Go ahead.
And the child left to himself will be willful.
A what?
And the child left to himself.
It says a child left to himself. A lot of these children are being left to themselves. Meaning what? Your child does whatever your child wants to do. Your child is like the adult. You're making your child make all these decisions. See those kids that make decisions. Listen, these children are making decisions, man. I couldn't make no decisions when I was younger. Listen, with my dad, I couldn't even, when we was driving McDonald's, past McDonald's, I couldn't even ask him for McDonald's without him taking his hands off the steering wheel and throwing some combinations into the backseat. Throwing combinations into the backseat only because I asked for McDonald's, man. He said, you know how Caribbean parents are, they say there's food in the house, man.
You mind how broke they are.
Yeah, exactly. They say you want McDonald's, throw some combinations into the back seat, man. I knew every time we go past McDonald's to lean back in the seat and don't even look, man. Go ahead.
Cocker thy child.
Do what?
Cocker thy child.
And this is the problem, man. You meant to beat your child when they're acting up, man. Discipline your child. Well, obviously, when you're disciplining your child, don't go overboard. About's fine, man. Actually, about. Ooh. I just had a flashback. Ooh, that belt, especially one time I got hit on my shoulder. I think I still can feel it here with the belt buckle. You know, the belt buckle part. That part there. Ooh. Go ahead. Ooh. Go ahead. Discipline your child, man.
And he shall make thee afraid.
And what?
And he shall make thee afraid.
Go ahead.
Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness.
Do what?
Play with him.
And it says, if you play with your child too much, your child's going to bring you to heaviness. And this is the problem. Kids are being played with too much, man. Kids are getting to make decisions. People making 5-year-old, 6-year-old make decisions, man.
Especially with women as well. Women are cheating their daughters like old friends and shit, man.
Exactly. Treating them the same, saying, oh, we're going to dress the same, doing their makeup, letting their daughter, man, grow up way before the time, man. Playing with their children, letting their children think that you and them are the same age.
Yeah,
you and you go ahead.
I've seen kids swearing, the parents laugh, oh, she's so cute and hilarious. That's what happens. It's all fun and games now, and the Bible says, one day they'll swear at you, you can't stop it.
Exactly.
You're conquering them, playing with them, and you know what I mean, get them to heavens.
Exactly. You got people recording it when you seen people got babies twerking and recording it, finding it funny, you seen it? All on the Facebook, man, disgusting, man. People got their kids dancing all on the Facebook, recording it like it's funny, man. And then what's gonna happen? Your daughter's gonna grow up to be a whore. She's gonna be on the Maury show. Maury's gonna say to the man on the show, you are not the father, and you're gonna be brought to heaviness, man. And all because you didn't cocky your child, man. You didn't teach your child right from wrong. You didn't let your child be a child. You decided to play with them and let them be an adult. You decided to let your child make these decisions, and then before you know it, your daughter's going to be telling you she's running away with a damn 40, 50-year-old man, like what you're seeing on the news, man. You meant to discipline your kid. Was going to say something?
You know what? My God, they went slavery. I know one people on the phone with the door in there, at least 6. She had some black right on. I was like, yo, you make it? She yes.
See.
So what my daughter can't look sexy. Like,
see.
Oh, like, and these, she said I'm going to be crying, but she sits in the room.
Exactly. She's going to be crying when her daughter's pregnant on the Jeremy Kyle show, man. Well, once she's gonna be crying once she's in Asda and she's gonna get a group of boys saying, "Oh yeah, that's the hoe's mom over there." they're gonna be like, that's the hoe's mom over there. She's gonna be brought to what? Let's say heaven. Let's read that again. She's gonna drop those shopping bags, man. When she's hearing her daughter's the neighborhood bike, man. What did they used to call them back in 2008? A shed. Just called them a shed. She's a shed. That's what they used to say, man. She's a shed, meaning, I don't even know what the hell it means, but that's what they used to say, she's a shed. Last thing you want to hear is, oh, your daughter's the neighborhood home, man. You hearing that, man, it's like you failed as a parent, man. You're going to drop those Asda bags, and all because you wanted to play with your child and not discipline them. You wanted to let your daughter put on battery riders. That's what we call it. What's the real name for it?
Daisy Dukes or shit.
What's the real name for it?
The show.
What was it? What is it? Pedal pushers?
No,
what the hell is pedal pushers?
Come to your thighs, man.
If you're from a Benjamin background, you've heard it before. Pedal pushers, all of these things. I don't know. I hear it in Beanie Man songs. Go ahead.
Laugh not with him.
Do what?
Laugh not with him.
Do what?
Laugh not with him.
And when your child's swearing, the Bible says, not what?
Laugh not with him.
When your child's doing something wrong, do what?
Laugh not with him.
When your child's doing something wrong, you're supposed to laugh with them, man. It's not a joke. This is what you do. You go and get the belt. They got some nice leather, real leather belts for £5, man. My mum had a wooden spoon, man. That's what we used to get beat with, a wooden spoon. You ever got beat with a wooden spoon? We all had to line up one after another. You had to hold out your hand and you get beat with that wooden spoon. I remember that wooden spoon like it was yesterday. I don't even like to see wooden spoons no more. Go ahead.
Laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him.
And you ain't supposed to laugh unless you're going to have sorrow with them. Go ahead.
Lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thy gnash thy teeth at the end. Give him no liberty in his youth.
Give him what?
No liberty in his youth.
Don't give your kid nothing too much liberty, man. Don't give your kid all this freedom. Don't let your child make all these grown-up decisions. They're a child, man. They're your child for a reason, meaning you meant to make the decisions. You decide what goes on and what don't go on. Go ahead.
And wink not in his foolish follies.
And what?
Wink not in his follies.
Says don't wink in his follies. Now your child does something foolish. Don't turn a blind eye to it. You chastise them, man, so they don't do it again. Because one foolishness will turn into 2 things, 3 things, 4 things. Go ahead.
Bow down his neck while he is young.
Do what?
Bow down his neck while he is young.
Bow down his neck while he's young, man. Teach him while he's young. Discipline him while he's young. Go ahead.
And beat him on the sides.
And you beat them on the sides, man. Discipline. Don't laugh with them. This is the Bible giving you instructions on what to do with your child. Don't listen to the white man. What does they say? Oh, you're not allowed to discipline your child. The white man says that, but then he shoots your child dead in the street, man. Why don't he take his own? Why is he disciplining our kids then? The thing is, with him, when he disciplines them, they don't return. They go to a grave, man. Whereas when we discipline them, we do it for the good, so we can have join them later on in life. Go ahead, what verse yet?
Lest he wax stubborn.
Lest he wax stubborn, and then you can't tell him nothing. You can't tell him what to do no more because he's grown now. He ain't gonna listen to you. You've learned it. Go ahead.
And be disobedient unto thee.
And what?
And be disobedient unto thee.
And all these kids is disobedient to parents. You see that one when the kids was fighting their mom in Asda, was running away from her, and she loses the plot, starts getting all angry, shouting and screaming. And it's in Asda or Tesco. And this is the problem: kids swearing at their moms on the bus because you've left it too late. You ain't disciplined them. I wouldn't even dream of swearing at my mom. Go ahead. I wouldn't dream of swearing at my dad. I'm still scared of my dad till today, man. When he phones me, I see his picture coming closer to the phone. I'm thinking, is this nigga gonna come through the phone and discipline me sometimes? I'm thinking, what have I done now? Go ahead.
And so bring sorrow to thine heart.
And what?
So bring sorrow to thine heart.
And if you play with your kid and you treat them like they're an adult and you treat them like your friends, they're going to bring sorrow to your heart. They're going to end up in jail. They're going to end up dead. They're going to end up drug dealers. They're going to end up everything which is against the Lord. Go ahead. What verse yet?
13.
Oh, that's it. I'm not there anymore.
Chastise the son.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chastise thy son and hold him to labor.
And what?
Hold him to labor.
Do what?
Hold him to labor.
Chastise your son, man, and hold him to labor, man. Make your kids, teach your daughters how to cook. Teach your sons how to change a bike tire, man. How to put petrol in a car, how to change tires and everything. Teach them how to clean up. Nowadays, kids don't even wash the dishes. All they do is sit down on the iPad. Have you noticed that's all they do?
Remember back in the day, you see a bike upside down?
Exactly.
When last you seen a bike upside down?
I ain't seen one of the see kids on iPads nowadays. That's what I see. It's kids on their iPads. Hold them to labor. Make them do certain things. Make them cut the grass. Make them clean up. Teach them how to wash the dishes. Nowadays people don't even wash the dishes. They all got dishwashers now. No, everyone's become lazy, man. Hold your kids to labor. When they want to play out with their friends, say to them, no, it's not every day you're going out. Today you're going to do this. My dad used to make us polish the TV, polish the door handles, clean the skating boards, hoover. I remember all these chores had to be done. If these chores wasn't done, some discipline was coming. Teach them how to change a bed sheet. Do you know that most kids can't even put a cover in put a duvet in a cover? Most kids can't even put a duvet in a cover nowadays, man. Most kids just get out of the bed and don't even spread it no more. You ain't holding them to no labor whatsoever. Hold them to some labor. Let them do some work. Is there any more on that? That's it. Give me Proverbs 23 and 12. Let's see if Let me see if it's I think it's the right one. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Proverbs 23:12. Apply thine heart unto instruction, and thine ears to the words of knowledge.
Now we're going to give you some knowledge. Go ahead.
Withhold not correction from the child.
Do what?
Withhold not correction from the
The
child.
Bible says, withhold not correction from the child. If a child needs correcting, correct them. If a child's doing something wrong, discipline them. Because if you don't discipline them, it's only going to be bad in the long run. Your child ain't supposed to be friends with you, man. Your child's supposed to be afraid of you, like, my dad don't play no games, so I'm not going to do that, man. Your child's supposed to think, my dad's not the one to play them games with me, so I'm not gonna do this. Go ahead.
Apply not correction from a child. Withhold not correction from a child. For if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die.
But if thou what?
If thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die.
And if you discipline your child, you're not gonna die, man. You discipline your child, they're gonna do the right thing, which means death shouldn't be coming their way. They ain't gonna get shot over drugs. They ain't gonna get shot over robbing the wrong person. They ain't gonna kill another black man. Go ahead.
Thou shalt beat him with the rod and deliver his soul from hell.
Thou shalt what?
Deliver his soul from hell.
So it's basically saying, if you discipline your child, you deliver their soul from hell, meaning you deliver your child from destruction because you beat them, you've disciplined them to where they're not going to do nothing wrong. But kids left to themselves, they're going to die one day, man, because they're going to be drug dealers, they're going to be everything against the Lord. Now you discipline your child and teach them to walk in the ways of the Lord, you've delivered their soul from hell. But if your child ain't being disciplined and you're not teaching them nothing, they're going to go down the wrong road, man. Go ahead.
My son.
Nah, that was it. Give me Proverbs, I think it's 13:1.
Proverbs 13:1. A wise son heareth his father's instruction.
A wise son heareth his father's instruction. Go ahead.
But a scorner heareth not rebuke.
One sec, let me find the part I'm looking for. Go ahead.
A man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth.
Jump to verse 24. It was that one that I wanted. Jump to 24.
He that spurreth the rod hateth his son.
He that what?
Spurreth the rod hateth his son.
Says basically you that don't discipline your child hate your son. You know why? Because you ain't disciplining them. So the reason you discipline your child is because you love them and you don't want no harm to come their way. You don't want them to do bad things in life. So because you love them so much, you discipline them. But if you hate your child, you're not going to discipline them. You're just going to be like, oh, whatever, and leave them to do whatever they want. Because you hate them if you're not disciplining your child. But because you love your child, you discipline them and you don't want them to do no wrong. Go ahead. One sec, let me find, there's a certain verse I'm looking for. Give me Proverbs 22:15.
22:15.
Yeah, Proverbs 22:15.
Proverbs 22:15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child.
Foolishness is what?
Bound in the heart of a child.
Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. Meaning, obviously, a child is going to be foolish, man. Go ahead.
But the rod of correction shall drive it far from him.
But what?
But the rod of correction shall drive it far from him.
And a child, they're going to do stupid things because the kids. So the rod of correction, you discipline them, shall make them not be stupid, shall make them not do stupid things. Your child does something dumb, you discipline them. Obviously, they're not going to do it again because they're going to learn from that beating that you gave them. That's how it's supposed to be. Give me one more scripture. Let me just quickly count this up. Give me Proverbs 29 and verse 15.
Proverbs 29:15. The rod and reproof give wisdom.
Says the what?
The rod and reproof give wisdom.
The rod and reproof will make your child wiser, man. They made a stupid decision. You disciplining them, it's going to make them wiser. They're going to learn not to do what they did again. They're going to learn, all right, what I did was wrong. I'm not going to do it again. So the rod and reproof give wisdom. So you discipline them and you tell them where they went wrong and you tell them don't do it again. Next time they think to even do it, they won't do it again, because the rod and reproof give wisdom. The Bible says, with much what knowledge comes, with much what knowledge comes sorrow. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes kids do something stupid, and in order for them to get the knowledge, there has to be sorrow. Meaning you have to discipline them in order for them to know. You know what I done was not going to do it again. Go ahead, read on.
But a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame.
Oh, what?
A child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame.
It says a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame, and this is why. When you ask most black women, where's your son? Oh, he's on holiday. That nigga ain't on holiday. He's in jail, man. She's ashamed, man. He's in jail. You know when they try and lay a lie and say he's on holiday? Some of your family members been on holiday from you been born, man. They ain't on no holiday. They're in jail. Their mother's just ashamed. You know why? Those children was left to themselves. There wasn't they didn't get no discipline. They didn't get no correction. There wasn't discipline with the rod of correction. There wasn't taught what righteousness is. But basically, we're up on the time. We're gonna have to pick up where I left off next week. So we're gonna pick up from here next week because we're up on the time. I wish I could finish it off, but we are out of time. Go ahead.
Nobody tell you cry. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you are a black man like me. And it works out.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, so packed, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues, call this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good wreck. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how do you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I don't believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain, something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord? Got a tongue like a two-edged sword.